There is no guarantee for success, but there are ways to get closer to it when you do the right things. Who you surround yourself with is just as important as what you do. Finding the right people, the right classes, the right activities, and taking the right tests are all decisions that shape your future. Find out more today on Destination University with Dr. Cynthia Colon. Dr. Colon and her guests will give you the tips you need, whether you're a student, parent, or educator. Now, here is your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon.
You're listening to Destination University, a podcast for college-bound teens and the parents, mentors, and educators who support them. If that is you, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon, TEDx speaker, college admission strategist, and author of the book, Be Committed, Get Admitted. Welcome to Destination University. We help high school families successfully navigate the college admission process by helping students create an action plan, become interesting applicants, and write compelling essays that increase acceptance letters. As a former admission officer at Vassar College and an elite private school counselor in Los Angeles, I have coached, mentored, guided, and worked directly with over 10,000 students. I know what it takes to get admitted to top 100 colleges. As my gift to you, I'm revealing the exact admission committee process we used at Vassar. It's all in my new guide, 4 questions admission officers ask when deciding who to admit or reject. You can get that at drcynthiacolon.com/admit. In the guide, I share the 4 questions I used in the 12 minutes I had to review an entire application. I give you the order I read the application, what I was looking for, what I highlighted and took note of. If you've ever wondered what admission officers are looking for and how decisions are made, well, today is your lucky day. Again, go to drcynthiacolon.com/admit. Okay, let's get to today's episode. Okay, this is so exciting. I love it when we do this and we find new people. So if this is your first time, type into the chat, first time. I love it. First time joining us, I've been at this, you guys, for a long time. I've been in the college admission business. Oh gosh, if I actually said the year, you'd be like, oh my goodness. I know, I look like I'm 30, right? Okay, long time. Minneapolis? What? No way. Jill, do you know that when I worked at Vassar, Minnesota was one of my territories? I've been to Minneapolis. I've been to the Mall of America. Pretty cool, right? First time. Hi, Andrew. Yes, I know. I see you. First time. Hi, Melissa. Yes, first time. I love it. Okay. This is your first time. Type in the chat. First time. My goodness. I love to find out how people find out about us. Okay, we're gonna get started. I was gonna test this microphone. I used to use this microphone all the time when I did my podcast, when I would go and I would go to people's offices. I'd go to visit Gary Clark at UCLA, and I take my microphone. And I haven't been using the microphone so much when I'm doing webinars, but I was thinking perhaps the sound would sound better. So I'm going to test it. Let's see. Okay, can you hear me? Daryl, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Cynthia.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, and I can hear you too. You guys, does this sound any better? Maybe. Okay. All right, we're going to try to use this because I think the sound quality is better. So, all right, here we go. All right, so this is one of my favorite presentations, and I actually did this. I was working with Wish Academy here in Los Angeles a couple of years ago, and this was one of the presentations they requested. And I thought, I should dust that off and talk about it, because
listen, I know that you probably think that we only work with top, rock stars, like 4.5 kids that they get into these top colleges. That's not true, actually. First of all, they're all not superhuman. They're not star athletes or curing cancer or Mother Teresa. None of that. They are just normal kids. So I say that with all love and respect, because I love all of our students, no matter where they are, B plus students, A plus students, it doesn't matter. The point is, we really specialize in helping any student, wherever you are, get admitted to the best possible college. So I don't know. How does that sound? Does that sound good? That sound like a good plan? I think so. I always tell parents, like, your only job is to give your kid the best educational experiences and make sure they have a lot of choices when they graduate, right? Because you don't want them living in your basement after all. I mean, come on, right? Okay. Our COO, some of you might know Coach Stephanie. It's her birthday today. So she is taking the night off. And we've got Daryl, who is our virtual assistant and has been with us, gosh, for 3 years now. So Daryl is there, and we'll kind of keep an eye on things while I go. All right, so here's my plan, you guys. I'm going to go through a presentation to show you some actual real B students that we've worked with in the past and their plan and how they got admitted to their dream colleges. Everybody's dream college is different, right? My dream college was USC, as many of you know, if you've been following me at all for a hot minute. I talk about USC all the time. I love it. And when I applied, it was my Harvard, but they were admitting, I'm sure, like north of 70%. So I would have been basically one of these students. I was not the tippy top of my class. Of course, my best friend was. She was like the salutatorian. But I was like in the top 15 students, 15, I shouldn't say that. I should say I was probably in the top 10% of my class, somewhere in there. And I was a student body president. So I had a lot going for me outside of academics. Thank goodness, right? Okay, here we go. Are you ready to rock and roll? Type in the chat the number 1 if you are ready to fly. Yay! Okay, let me know that you're ready. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Brandy. Thanks, Andrew. Oh, okay, awesome. All right, here we go, guys. And I'm also going to share some of my favorites, my favorite schools. So I won't just be talking and giving you a presentation, but I will also share some of my favorites. Okay. I have a tickle in my throat, you guys. I don't know. The weather's changing here in California.
Connecting and like reconnecting, and it doesn't work.
Uh-oh. Make sure you guys
It
are
says
muted.
Brandy's AirPods, but
Uh-oh. Hi, Brandy. Daryl, can you just mute her? Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Which colleges are best for B students? Your ultimate guide. All right. So are you looking to help your child have choices? The answer is yes. Resounding yes. That's the dream of every parent. Okay. So if you're like my mom, she wanted to help me. And I like to just tell the story because it's completely true. I had been dreaming of going to USC for literally years. I'd watch football games, on the weekend, along with Nebraska and Tennessee and UCLA and all the big football programs. And I was like, I want to go to USC. I wanted to go to USC because it had the same colors as my high school. And I'd gone to visit, and we performed at halftime, our drill team and the band, along with like 100 other schools. But I became really paralyzed in my senior year. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to get started. And this is true for a lot of students. So if you have a senior, you might be feeling like, oh my gosh, on the outside, they're kind of walking and like, I'm confident. And on the inside, they're just terrified. So my mom, thank goodness for her, got help for me. And she found expert guidance. And I got into my dream college. So if that sounds like you, you are definitely in the right place. You're just like my mama, trying to get some help. So after USC, I went on to graduate school at Teachers College at Columbia University. I worked at Barnard College, which is an all-women's college in New York City. And then my first real job was working here at Vassar College. Isn't it beautiful? It's one of the most beautiful campuses in the country. I've been to about 300 of them. But I became obsessed with college admissions. Why? Probably because the truth was I didn't know about elite colleges like Vassar and Barnard and Columbia and all of these things. I was just, girl from Bellflower who went to public school and, got admitted to USC because my mom helped me. And when I got to a place like Vassar, I was like, oh my goodness, this is fancy. And I was sent off to go, like I said, like to Minnesota and Kansas and California, Texas, and Florida to recruit students to apply to Vassar. And the schools that they were sending me to go visit were private schools. So all of this kind of really came crashing down of like, gosh, there's so many parents and families that don't know all of the insider scoop that, these wealthy and well-resourced families had. And when I'm talking well-resourced, I'm talking schools that today cost about $45,000 to attend. So I became really obsessed to figure out how the normal everyday person gets admitted. Okay, so I went on and my first book is a different title, Tips, Tales, and Truths for Teens. This is my latest and most recent book from 2023. I also did a TED Talk in 2023. So 23 was a banner year for me. I was super excited for 23. And now we're having, now it's like we're bringing in more and more students in 2024. So having another banner year. I believe that most students just don't know how to sell themselves in a way that gets them noticed. And because the amount of applications that has grown exponentially, it's just become such a chore to apply, and you have to know so much information. I don't know about you, but I'm a Gen X. I applied to 5 schools, wrote 1 essay, called it a day, right? I think I took the SAT 1 time. It's just different these days. So that's the unfortunate news. I went to Marymount. I worked at a private girls' school here in Los Angeles, Catholic school, where Kim Kardashian went and Mariska Hargitay and Giada DeSantis. I say that not to impress you, but to really just impress upon you, like, that there was a lot of resource there, and it was high pressure to perform. Like I had to get there and be like getting these kids into, helping these girls get into Stanford and Brown and Duke. And that all happened really quickly because I brought all the things I learned from Vassar to the table. So these girls were super successful. And then because of that, I wrote my first book and put all the secrets into one book for the everyday person. And like I said, it was working for the everyday person, everyday student. And I was practicing, experimenting on these students that you see here. Please don't tell their parents I was experimenting on their children, but I was. So they're not superhuman. This is a formula that works and help turn ordinary applicants into extraordinary applications. And that's really what you want. So that's why you're here tonight. Okay, so this is just a little, like, in case you're wondering, who is that Dr. C? My students call me Dr. C, but you can call me Cynthia. Those parents, I'm like, just call me Cynthia. It's okay. When I was in graduate school at UCLA getting my doctorate, they said, you should make people call you Dr. Cologne for as long as it took you to get, your degree. It only took me 3 years. So I don't know. I'm past that now. So there you go. If you haven't found the podcast, Destination University, there's a lot of great information there for free, and you can binge listen there. So this is an example of an ordinary student from Chicago. She had big dreams, big dreams. Yes, she was one of our rock star, kind of a unicorn, but it doesn't matter. I mean, Princeton doesn't take everybody, right? They take like 4 out of every 100. So that's just an example of an extreme yay case. But this is like everybody, just like everybody. We love our students. They come from across the country and have a high success rate working with us. Okay, so here's where it gets good. I'm going to give you 6 real students. I'm going to sort of break them down, and then I'll give you my favorites, and then I'll just open it up to Q&A because that's maybe what you want tonight too, okay? All right, so you might be thinking to yourself, so maybe write down, like, if this resonates with you, which of these 6 resonates with you? So we have students who have a strong curriculum but weak grades. So that might be you. The podcast refers to literally the podcast number that you can listen to the story of that person. Your kid might have strong grades, but weak curriculum. So that's something too. Or strong involvement and weak curriculum. I think this might have been me when I was a senior. Maybe, no, I think I was a little strong at that. But okay, this is another potential. Solid curriculum and grades, but just not super strong, right? 7 honors, 2 APs, mostly Bs, okay? And not many school activities. So she's not going to be a super strong applicant just based on this, right? But she's solid. Strong resume and weak transcript. Oh gosh, this is Bonnie. I remember Bonnie so well. Okay. And then this is, this is pretty typical. All around strong, but not likely to stand out. Now you might be looking at this and going, oh my goodness, how does she not stand out? 8 APs, mostly A's, sprinkling of B's, right? So I'll show you a little bit more about each of these. All right, let's see. Okay. Daryl, we've got one more person in the waiting room. Okay, so which describes you best? Maybe type into the number in the chat, which one describes you best. Let's see. Let's take a peek here. Let's go over these again. So this is 1, strong curriculum, weak grades. This is 2, strong grades, weak curriculum. Oh, 3, 4, 5, or 6. We're all family here, so I hope that's okay that I asked you to do that. I just realized that, if we were in class, we'd be like, okay, good. All right, 1s, 3, 6. Okay. Yeah. All right. Strong curriculum, weak grades. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Okay. That's good. All right. So this is, oh, whoops. Oh, here was my cheat sheet all along. I didn't need to do that. All right. So here we go. This is now, I'm going to describe to you kind of what they did or how they sort of stood out. So for Diego, he built a solid list of colleges. That's for me always the key. What's the list of colleges you're applying to? And you want to make sure you have success, right? You're set up for success. What Diego did so well is he set up interviews. And so I worked with him. He was sort of a semi-private client. And so what we did was I introduced him to people that I know, because I know I have colleagues, of course, across the country. And he did these in the summer before senior year. And he would do these little 15-minute interviews, meet and greets. And he got to be more and more comfortable with himself, his story. He became more confident. And also he was introducing himself to people who were at the school. So he showed interest. So he really developed an essay that talked about, he had maybe one D, and he might have had a C or 2. So he developed a little mini essay as to why that happened. So that's what he did to combat what he had. So here's Ethan. Oh gosh, I hope I remember all these kids' names. He decided on a major, then he went all in. So he developed this sort of compelling story around this major. Once we knew kind of what made sense when we looked at the transcript and all of his story, we're like, okay, this makes sense. Let's go with this major. So we really kind of you have to look at the whole picture and figure out what is going to be your thing. Okay. So he wrote, oh my gosh, oh my God, wait till you see where he got admitted, you guys. It was amazing. Oh gosh. This was a twin. The heck is, I'm going to not remember the twin's name. Okay. So for this kiddo, he built a solid list of colleges. Again, that's the cornerstone. He was really honest and candid about his learning differences, and brought that to light very candidly. And he capitalized on his strengths in business and sports. So again, you look at the whole picture and you go, okay, like what's going to be our thing? How can we leverage and capitalize on those strengths? Oh my gosh, this kid, Savannah. Oh my God, Savannah, love her. Saw a list of colleges. Her specific involvement, she was part of the Police Explorer program. And so she leveraged all of that, was a criminal justice major. And she was like persistent on the using her essays that she had developed in essay camp and used them for scholarship dollar. Woo, wait till you see what kind of scholarship she got. Here's Bonnie. She built a solid list that included auditions. She understood that her strengths were to be in, I think this was our COVID year. So she had to, of course, audition on video, but she knew that that was going to be a strength of hers, even either having an interview, auditioning. She was candid and charismatic, and she was trained in she was a triple threat. So she knew that she needed to use that. And she did not have strong grades, you guys. A solid B is being generous. Okay. Lexi, oh my goodness. Lexi really, we went for it. She had done all the things. She was well worth, having earned the spot to like apply for some dreamer colleges. So she did. She also applied for what we call CBOs, community-based organizations, to see if she could use that as another piece. And she leveraged her strengths as a STEM major in nursing. So if a girl in STEM, nursing club. Okay. Engineering majors are competitive to get admitted to. Yes, there are more males than females, so that was something that we leveraged as well. Okay. Okay. So you're like, what happened to these kids? All right, let me tell you. Ready? Here's Diego. Remember, he had a D, you guys. He got admitted to UC Riverside. Okay. And not all of the places where he applied or that he was admitted all fit on this little card. This was I think our first year that we were like using these cards. Daryl, you might remember, I think this was the first year that Daryl made these cards. So we didn't really know what to highlight here, but nonetheless, he got into some solid schools for him. Here's Ethan, you guys, he's at UC San Diego. No joke. I mean, his mother was over the moon. Now, I will tell you, he applied to his dream college, which is, hint, my alma mater. And, he was not admitted, but he was so confident after getting admitted to the UCs that he was admitted to. And then he said, okay, Dr. C, I'm going to be a Trojan one way or another. I said, great. Well, you still can do, you get your master's, you can do all kinds of things. So, oh, there's my Elvis. Can you hear him? Elvis. Oh, I don't know what he's barking at. Oh, Steve, that's his name. What the heck is his brother's name? So Steve is at Babson. Babson is basically a business school in Boston. Oh my goodness, he's embarrassing me. My son is embarrassing me. Hang on one second. Okay. I don't know if you can see him, so I'm going to just put him right here. All right, sit down. Okay, so this is Steve, and he also had lived in Boston. I think maybe when they were younger, they lived in Boston. So he used the whole Boston thing. He leveraged all of it. He was a big little sports fan and all the things. So he's at Babson. Here's Savannah, you guys. Savannah, I don't even think that she was UC eligible. Okay, so if you know what that even means, I'm not sure that she was actually eligible to be admitted to the UC school. She earned a full scholarship to APU. Okay, full scholarship. The kind of scholarship that you have to be invited to apply. And this was based on her essay, like based on her application, she was invited to apply. So she had strong essays because she was a rock star in essay camp. Like she produced 8 essays. Like one student per summer produces 8 essays. And so she was invited to apply, and they give two full scholarships every year. She got one of them. Oh my God. So there you go. Here's Bonnie. I think she went on the like fast track program because I think Bonnie's already like graduated. I think she might have done 3 years. But she auditioned and then she went to Rutgers. That was her dream, the Rutgers. I can't remember what the name of the school, the performing arts school, but she got admitted to the performing arts school there. And here's Lexi. Oh my God, look at where she was admitted to, you guys. It was unbelievable. She had such a windfall of wins and admissions, and she was super excited. Her mom is someone I knew from our Marymount days. We both worked there. And so Lexi went to Kalamazoo on almost a full scholarship. She did not get a part of the Posse program, which she had applied to. So she was part of the Posse semifinalist going to Kalamazoo. And so her being there, they knew that she really wanted to go there. And so they ended up offering her almost what would have been equivalent to a Posse scholarship. But look, she was admitted to Bryn Mawr, you guys. Hello. So anyway, it's possible. I'm telling you, these are not superhuman. They're not recruited athletes. They're not curing cancer. They're not super wealthy, rich families. They're just normal kiddos. Okay. So let's dig. I want to show you one here that I didn't show you before. So this is Jackie. She's also been interviewed, so you can listen to her story on my podcast. So nothing I'm sharing with you is, secret. So we talk about this. So here's what Jackie looks like. Okay. This is, these are the APs that she took in her honors. So, solid kid. She interned at a hospital. She wanted to go and she wants to be a nurse, or she wants to go to the medical, in the health professions. She worked 30 hours a week cleaning banks from her mom. If you've listened to my TED Talk, I use her as one of the examples. I think I use Jonna, Charlie, and Jackie, and she's this one. Okay. So I'll just give you a little peek here as to a piece of her essay. So if you want to just kind of read what's on the page, can you all see that? I hope. Yeah. Take a little peek here. Okay. All right, so that's a little bit of her, what we do 4 signature types of essays. When you work with us, or if you've downloaded the Power Play Essay Kit, if you haven't, I'll just show you the link. Or Daryl can put the link in, but we do 4 signature essays. So who am I is the first one. Here's the what am I good at? So if take a quick peek here, you're not going to have time to necessarily read the whole thing. I'll tell you this quick story about her. Jackie was the kid who said to me, Dr. C, I'm not very involved. I don't have anything to list in my activities. We were working on at the time her UC application. And I said, no, I'm sure you do. You got to think about between the time the bell rings from school to the time you go to sleep, what do you do? Just walk me through your day. So she started telling me her day, and she says, I go home, I do a little bit of homework, I get something to eat, and then my mom says it's time to go. And I'm like, where are you going? She says, I go to help my mom clean banks. What? So 5 to 6 hours a night, she would go basically have a job. She had almost a full-time job. So I said, you got to write that. A lot of students don't realize they need to write that and put that in their activities. So that's what she did there. Here's her future connection. She, like I told you, she had interned. I think back in the days, they called them candy stripers. I don't think they do that anymore. I don't know if it's like not PC to say that or something, but she did an internship at the hospital. So she writes a little bit about that. So this is what we call your future connection, or your, sort of why this major essay. So this is what she highlights. And this was a school district that we worked with. We're in our 4th year. This is our last year working with that district, but, so yeah. So she did this in the camp that we had at the school. And then this is something cool or different about me. So, this was the COVID class. So she talks about her, just being with her family during quarantine. So nothing, super, super special. And then the extra information. So when we work with students and they take our essay camps, or they're working with us privately, these are extra things that we'll say. I said, Jackie, you want to make sure you address the elephant in the room, right? If there's an elephant in the room, address it. So she did, and she talks about, I think because she had a C or 2 C's, I can't remember exactly, but she wanted to address it. So she wrote this. Once she learned how to write from our class, our boot camp, she wrote this pretty much on her own. I think I tweaked 1 sentence or something. So she was well on her way. She's at Davis, UC Davis. Okay, again, so what we really do well is help students who, every student comes to the table with something they bring to a college and where they should land. And we help students get admitted just above their pay grade, as I say. So sorry, I told you I have a little tickle in my throat. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so if you took a peek at her essays, just type in the chat 1 phrase or 1, word that you even still remember, because that's the truth. As an admission officer, we read the whole application and literally 3 minutes later, I've forgotten, 80% of it. So, okay. All right. I'm going to show you some of my favorite colleges, but I'm going to stop share for a second. Okay. Anybody? Let's see. I want to see if anybody answered my question. Okay. Okay. Anything that you remember, or anything that you just, think about what you read and the banks. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a compelling story.
Here's the truth. For nearly 30 years, I have worked at elite private colleges and/or private high schools. I know what well-resourced families do to ensure college success, and I can tell you, if your child is enrolled at a public or religious high school, chances are she or he is already 5 steps behind. However, today is your lucky day. To get you ahead of your private school peers, I have a gift for you. I'm revealing the exact admission committee process we used at Vassar. It's all in my new guide. 4 questions admission officers ask when deciding who to admit or reject. You can go to drcynthiacolon.com/admit to get your copy. I share the 4 questions I used in the 12 minutes I had to review the entire application. If you've ever wondered what admission officers are looking for and how decisions are actually made, you're not alone. Take action now to get 5 steps ahead and begin increasing those acceptance letters. Again, that's Dr. Cynthia Colon, drcynthiacolon.com/admit. That is all I have for you today, my friends. Thank you for tuning in to Destination University. I'm Dr. Cynthia Colon. If this episode has in any way helped, fueled, or inspired you, please share this episode with 3 people in the next 30 minutes. You can subscribe to Destination University wherever you get your podcast, and while you're there, leave us a review. It sure does help a lot. By subscribing and reviewing, you help to grow the community of informed families across the nation. And if you haven't binge listened to our previous seasons, do it. With each episode, you'll learn a new tip, trick, or strategy for success. Start with episode 1, the one word every parent should remove. You'll learn my mom's secret to ensuring college success for her daughters. And once again, if you found value today, please share this episode with 3 families in the next 30 minutes. I'll be sure to see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, wherever you are, may you have a happy and sunny day. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for listening this week to Destination University. Be sure to join Dr. Cynthia Colon again and get one step closer to your success.